Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Sometimes it's a simple solution. You know what? Sometimes, you know how we be doing, so it be some problem and we trying to figure out how to fix it. It could be a mechanical thing. It could be, something with your cable, something with your car. It could be something going on with a person or you having something. It could be myriad things. And you know how sometimes we think too much about it or we make it all complicated. We'll sit around and sometimes it's just a simple thing. Like it could be your cable that's giving you trouble and you like trying to do all this stuff. You might even get new equipment or something. You say, look, I got to order new equipment, right? And you try to do it yourself. And then after you do all that, you just needed a different cable to connect to the wall to the machine or something or to the TV. Or you could have all this stuff with a car. Oh, that's actually a good example, right? I remember I had a check engine light come on with the car, and I'm thinking, oh man, you get check engine lights, and you thinking all this stuff could go wrong. What's going on with the engine? It sounded good to you, and you might think, oh, okay, I gotta take it to this shop and everything, and they look at it. You just needed a new gas cap. I've actually had that happen. They say, oh, it's just a gas cap. Anything, or you could have all this trouble with a person. Like we especially have this thing in relationships, right? Especially have it in relationships. And, people could go back and forth, argue, be cursing each other out. And the simple thing was just maybe to sit down and talk about it and find out it was a big misunderstanding all the way around. I mean, and that's one of the things in life. Sometimes it's not complicated to solve an issue. It really isn't, regardless of what the issue is. Sometimes we think it is, but sometimes it might just be a simple fix and it'll change everything, right? It's like, I had a mentor give me an example talking about like in ancient societies when they had the wheel and everything and people were trying to move stuff and the wheel wouldn't move and you got that one wise, everybody trying to think, oh, well, if we do this, we do that. And, one wise person would say, oh, just tighten the screw on the wheel. And you like, wow. Y'all ever have that? Think about it. All this complicated stuff, it was solved by a simple thing. It might even be somebody. Like, you know what? I'm going to share this one thing, right? I remember when I was working at this major retail place, right? And there was a type of table that we were trying to take it apart. It was like one of those temporary things. You could put it together, take it apart easily. Well, later on we found it was easy. And I remember it was like me and a couple of the managers and everything trying to take this thing apart. We were like just looking at it, doing all that stuff. And I remember, this was years ago, but I will never forget this. I mean, we talking, we frustrated. A couple people's voices was raised. We trying to get this table apart, right? And, never mind trying to think, well, how we get it together to begin it. We trying to think how we get it apart. I remember the manager of the store. Lady, nice lady. She walked by casually, right? She was talking with somebody else. She just kind of walked up, still kept the conversation with the other person, did like a few things and took the thing apart and then kept walking. And all of us stood there with like, wow. And that's a lot in life. Now, I'm going to tell you what to do in those situations. Sometimes when you see something, it's not working right, or it could be a mechanical thing, everything, or it could be a personal thing, situation or something. Sometimes don't get upset. Don't get upset right away. Don't get huffy. Don't try to think about it too much. Stop. Breathe. Think about what you could do with it before you get upset. And then if you have somebody who might deal with it, like, okay, like I mentioned the car thing, maybe just take it to like one of these auto places. Sometimes it's not even like a major mechanic or something. You could take it to one of those auto supply stores or something, or whatever. Call somebody, whatever. But whatever the case, whatever the solution, regardless whether it's a mechanical thing, something in your home, some personal situation, stop first. Just be like, okay, let me be calm. It's like the elders, before they will fix something, they'd be like, let me sleep on it. Let me just sleep on it. And then, or whatever. And then sometimes it's like, oh, just do this. Sometimes we're thinking too much, and sometimes we got to do it because, sometimes when we get upset over any situation, any happening, we stressing ourselves out, and stress isn't good. Stress isn't good. We stressing ourselves out for no reason. And, and we can figure it out simply. But even if it is something that is more complicated, we still need to be calm in solving it, taking it step by step, because even just being calm and it's something more complicated, you still got to go through the steps to fix it. You might have to be calm before it's a mechanical thing to be fixed. Or if it's a relationship thing, some type, and not just a romantic relationship, but with a family member, a good friend, you might have to just be calm and say, well, you know what, we can't talk until then. Okay, well, you got to be calm until then. You got to be calm. You got to address situations because everything is solvable. I don't care what it is. It's solvable one way or the other. And instead of getting hyped over the problem, just sit back and say, okay, you know what? This is how we're going to fix it. This is how we're going to fix it. So, anyway, sometimes it's a simple solution. So, anyway, enjoy the rest of this day. Always just to continue rising and transforming. Peace.